Hello everyone, Warhammer here, and welcome back to the Karl Franz campaign for Mortal Empires. Now for today's episode, we're starting things off with Karl Franz and the Loyalists going up against an army of Secessionists over at the town of Überzweig. Now their leader is one of the rebellion leaders known as Hans Frankenfurter, and hopefully we'll get a chance to eliminate him and the rebellion army in this fight, which I have to say is on a very beautiful map. We've got a giant statue of Karl Franz right here. You can see up in the mountains all these skulls carved into the stone itself. It's very, very cool. I'm impressed. But we're going to try and focus on dealing with the enemy instead. Now we know there's a unit making their way across here, and what I'm planning to do is I've got my 2 units of Free Company Militia making their way into the woods, where my main army is going to come here across the open, so we present the obvious targets for them. In the meantime then, I've got my Rakes Guard making their way over eventually into the woods, in order to come around and be able to attack the enemy from the rear, while my Free Company Militia come and attack from the side. Now with the main army is of course both Luthor and Karl Franz himself, so we're going to be in a nice good position to go up against the enemy force once we actually engage them. It does looking on the minimap that they're still content with making their way towards the forest here in the center for whatever strange reason. But we're just going to continue moving up into position. We're going to take our time about this, there's no need to rush it. And that means our troops know exactly where the enemy's going to be and where we're going to try and make the most obvious target possible, so we can take advantage then with the other troops. Now what I'm actually going to do as well with the Free Company Militia is stop them firing at will. Oh, we've actually encountered army units over here. What do we have in front of us? Halberdiers. With my Rakes Guard fighting Halberdiers in the woods, terrible idea. Because in the woods we actually take a debuff, as you can see here. 80 speed is reduced by 20%, and so is our melee attack. Because, well, cavalry count as a large unit. So do I want to give us that much of a penalty against these troops? Not particularly. What I'm going to do then, if they're going to insist on staying in the woods perhaps, let's pull my troops into the woods over here. And what I'm going to do then with my other troops is we might as well start moving up. If they're going to insist on coming into the woods, we might as well take the battle to them. So let's get my troops, march over to this direction here. The Rakes Guard can continue making their way into there, and the Free Company Militia could eventually start walking around to this direction. We're having them walk nice and slow, so we don't have to worry about the enemy spotting us by moving too quickly. And hopefully this will give them the incentive to come and attack us. Just to help out a little bit, let's get my missile troops. And what I might actually do, let's grab the troops. A moment. Reset the line here. But let's grab my units of missile units and put them in the front line here, so they can start firing straight away into that enemy position. In the meantime then, Rakes Guard can start to slowly walk over there, so they're not going to get spotted while they do that. Free Company Militia can just form up right by here. Right, we just need these guys now to get in position, and then we'll be able to start firing on the enemy. Now what do we want to try and focus on? Spearmen? Swordsmen tend to be much better when it comes to fighting in melee compared to the other units. I mean, these guys tend to have good armor piercing damage, if I remember right. Yeah, weapon strength, bonus versus large. Not armor piercing like I would have thought. I mean, you would have thought that. Halberds tend to be extremely good against armor just because of the size of their weapon when you think about it. So a bit of an odd thing not to have armor piercing, but I'm not going to complain in this fight. You guys have shields, don't you? Remind me, game. Plus 25% cast chance. That's an odd thing to have. But we've got Battle Prayer here, plus 16 leadership and immune to psychology. You're going to actually move up here, Luthor, in order to join up with Karl Franz. Okay, you guys are going to start making your way in. What's going to happen then is once my troops engage... Oh, in fact, we just encountered them. Switch over to skirmish mode and fire at will, and I want you guys to start firing on this unit here. So this is the general of the garrison of Überzweig, and we're going to be firing into his position with armor piercing rounds. That should do a fair bit there. In the meantime then, the enemy's firing line is making their way towards us. So let's grab the 3 units here, pull you guys back slightly, like so, and then the rest of them will start to engage. Where's their general? Back here, general of the Empire. Okay, spearmen, go and engage theirs. Halberdiers, go and attack them. Halberdiers, come into the center. Swordsmen, come and engage. You guys come over to here, and then, let's have a look, you guys come over here. Karl Franz, your job is to go and personally deal with Hans Frankenwörter. And you, Luftherr, are going to charge into the unit of Halberdiers. We'll get ready then to use Unbending Righteousness event in a minute. But remind me what that ability does nearby. Oh, 26 melee attack. Oh, hell yes. Slice them to pieces, my good men. Okay. You guys, in the meantime, my Reiksguard, are going to charge forward to attack the crossbows. You guys are going to do a good job just kiting these enemies away. Let me focus you on you and you on you. And we'll allow that to happen. Right. You're doing that. Let's give you everyone now a bit of a boost to that. And all we need now is to just hold long enough now for these guys to do a bit of damage. So handgunners, going to make your way up on the flank to deal with the sword unit there. Archers, let me actually have you firing against that unit over there. And then crossbowmen, okay, we've already got 1 unit retreating. Start firing on them. Okay, we've broken them in the center here as well. Okay, my Reiksguard have just charged in and decimating that crossbow unit. You guys come in here now, Halberdiers, and deal with that unit there. Looks like we're having a big fight in the center here. That's completely fine by me. We got a unit now ready routing. Luftherr, go off. Jesus Christ, did you see that? Just one swing apparently sent my unit flying across. I think that might have been Luftherr. I'm not too sure. Or it might have been Hans Frankenwörter there. Okay, you go and deal with them. Okay, we just need now someone to start breaking them through. So what, go after them. Handgunners is firing away at this unit here. We're starting causing them to break. Okay, let's have you guys go after them. You do a nice big charge straight into that unit there. Halberdiers, finish them off. Now what we have going on over here, archers, pull back. Crossbows, pull back as well. Karl Franz, go and engage the swordmen. Okay, we've got another unit coming back from over there, that's completely fine. Okay, this unit is routed, so is these. Okay. Swordsmen, go and engage those Halberdiers. Reiksguard, go and chase these down. Handgunners, move into position now to go after those. You guys come over here and help. Luftherr, okay, let's have you guys come around to here. Karl Franz can have fun against them. Crossbowmen, fire on... oh, archers and crossbowmen, fire on them. Okay. Luftherr, do we need to have you go and deal with their general? Yes. I know he's broken. That's fine. Who we've got left? Victory. There we go. Now, because I believe this is a siege assault by me, if we end the battle, we should be taking the entire settlement as a result. And we didn't do too badly. We took a few losses. No full units lost. Reiksguard did extremely good in our fight, 221 kills, mainly from chasing down enemies. But all in all, I'm very happy with the state of affairs. So, as I'm waiting for the loading bar to go up, I'll see you guys back on the campaign map in just a moment. So there we go, after a very easy battle to say the least, we managed to gain a decisive victory. A reasonable sum of money has now gone into the treasury, and most importantly, Karl Franz has gone up by an extra level, giving me 2 more points to spend on his skills. Now, we just need to tick on this. And what we're going to do with the town? Well, despite the fact that the town has been held by rebels, at the end of the day it is an empire settlement. And so we're just going to go simply occupy it, and bring it back into the Reikland fold. So now we actually got access to a strategic location here. Apparently it's important to the empire. So what can we build here in Ubersreich? Let's have a quick look. Building browser. This one here. The Red Moon Inn. 50 income, plus 2, not too bad. What's quite interesting though is that garrison. A Thane Empire captain, a Waystalk... oh, hang on. Isn't this from Vermintide? Now, don't get me wrong, I haven't actually played the game properly. I've played like the first couple of levels from the first game, but it's the fact that, you know, Witch Hunter, Waystalker, that'd be pretty cool to get my hands on. But most importantly, it does come already with a training field, which means that the one at Altdorf we can actually demolish. As we start building up Ubersreich, which I would like to do fairly quickly, because then we can take advantage and end up upgrading this to this next tier, get our hands on crossbowmen, being able to get spearmen with shield as well as swordsmen, that would be quite useful. And of course, being able to get our hands eventually on great swords and empire captains. So we'll let that happen, and we'll be able to get started as of next turn. Now, do I want to take a moment to add a few more units? Because we're still a few turns away before we can get our hands on the Karrenberg greatswords. But we can't get any regiments of renown for quite a few more turns. Keep again, it's about 10 turns. What I'm thinking, no... Let's get another unit of halberdiers and 2 more, I think, of Free Company Militia. Those guns are just very useful as a deterrent in order to do some extra kills against the enemy as well. And with our stats, they're actually quite good when you consider, like, their stats in terms of melee attack, melee defense, is pretty competitive, so I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll have these going around the flanks along with the Reichsguard. We can have our units shooting from the rear, and we'll have a strong front line in the center. So we'll end that. Now, is there anything else we need to try and do? Now, something I'm going to introduce, I think, in the next episode, assuming it's save game compatible. In fact, I'll talk about that in just a moment. Let me go first of all to Emperor Karl Franz. Thank you, game. Now, I would like to try and give him a warhorse, or preferably a barded warhorse. I'll skip then the Imperial Pegasus, and I'll go for Deathclaw as soon as I get my hands on. But I think that would be a good choice to jump from there to there. So for the moment, let's spend our 2 points on the Emperor's Finest, boosting up both our melee attack and melee defense for all of our infantry. So that's going to make our troops the best of the best, don't forget. With Karl Franz's boost to his army, all of these units are going to have plus 13 when you combine his plus 5 for melee attack and defense, making them extremely effective. So we'll add that to the mix. I think at this point that's everything else. Now, one thing, actually, we need to engage in diplomacy a moment. Now, it was recommended to me by Drake Immaterium in the comments that I have made a little bit of a mistake by securing a military alliance with Talabecland. He's got a good point. Looking back after the episode, I felt I made a mistake there. Because typically, I don't like going for military alliances because it means if they're the aggressor, you are still drawn into it. Whereas a defensive alliance is much better if you want to at least secure some sort of alliance with someone. So unfortunately, because we've recently made it, we can't cancel it right away. But something I can do, since we're going to be going to war with them eventually, is maybe cancel the ones with the undead. Now, because it's only a few turns into the game, I don't know if this is going to count. Yeah, ending the treaty we considered an act of treachery. So we've got 8 turns to go before we can do it. But it's something we definitely want to try and work on. Now, since we're here, are Batonia willing to engage that? No. What happens if I offer you a little bit of money for this? And say, offer payments, 600? No, they want military access. Now, I don't want that to happen because they start off a war with Marienburg, and I don't want them making too much headway into Empire provinces. Now, we are going to go after Einhard next, and then finish, or maybe just stop by Helmgart. Take that back, and then we'll be able to move up to Einhard and move straight up then towards Marienburg, and hopefully get it sorted before Leon Kerr starts making his way into Marienburg and the Wasteland. But at the moment, I think that's everything we need to worry about. Let's hit the enter. Where it gives me what I was going to bring up originally about a mod I'm going to be adding to the next episode, assuming, of course, it is save game compatible. And that is I believe it's called something like the Public Order Overhaul mod. It's something that I saw Surreal Beliefs is using in his current playthrough with Balthasar Geld. And it looks like it's quite a realistic and good mod. What it seems to do is make it so if you, depending on your public order, depends on what effects actually happen in the settlement, or the province. I mean, consider, for example, say Wakeland here. If they were, say, at minus 80%, at minus 80 public order, means they're going to rebel in a number of turns. It makes sense that these people aren't willing to help your cause. So they're not going to do stuff like, pay taxes or take the time to actually, help manage the harvest. And so, kind of sort of, it's going to cost more to build stuff and things like that. Whereas if they're really happy, they'll probably want to pay more taxes in order to, because they're happy to do it. The money coming in is bountiful enough that they can afford to pay more and things like that. So it sounds to me like a very good, realistic mod that can add a bit more to the campaign, and especially make it useful when we consider, as an example, say we went up and down into the mountains here of Karak Asgaraz, and a place which is probably going to be inhabited by a lot of greenskins and things like that, then, it's going to, or dwarves, it's going to make a lot of sense that they're not going to be too happy initially with us turning up. But as we make increased public order, maybe by bringing in more people, killing off the greenskin, and the raiding bands, maybe helping out any dwarves that have been held as slaves, and increasing public order, they're going to want to pay more taxes. They're going to want to help out more. So it's something we definitely want to bear in mind. But that's something for the next episode. For now, though, we've got this pop-up, Kislev. Kislev and the Empire share a common history for hundreds of years. In the Great War against Chaos, we fought side by side against the Chaos hordes. Now, with Norscan tribes threatening their borders and rumours of Chaos forces gathering in the east and north, Kislev is again in need of our help. Should we renew our old friendship and send continuous material support to aid them in their struggle? So we have two options. We can either say we're not interested, where we do nothing, or we can make a declaration of friendship, not only increasing our diplomatic relations, but it does mean, though, that we're going to have a minus 2% tax rate. Not that big a deal. But most importantly, as you can see, Kislev and the Imperial States can no longer declare war on each other. So Hochland, Ostermark, Osterland and that cannot declare war on Kislev and vice versa. So we're going to go for that. It's only a very, very small percentage that's gone down by. But I think it's a much more worthwhile bonus to get, that declaration of friendship. Now, we've got quite a bit of people back. Are we going to try and take Helmgart straight away? Or we can manage... Yeah, we can actually make our way up to Einhard straight away. You know what? We want to take the fort before, so we can control any access from Batonia. Now, Batonia itself, I'm not too concerned about them bringing, units up, because they're naturally our allies, you could say. At least not officially, but that's how I'm going to see it. But they have orcs nearby, beastmen, maybe other foul spawn of evil. We want to make sure we have a fortress here to defend our entrance into the Empire. So let's go and attack Helmgart, especially as we want to take the opportunity before they build up too big an army. Now, Baronspart is in my favour, despite the fact that, as you can see, they do have access to mortars and great swords and that. So for this fight, I am just going to auto-resolve. Took a few losses, but it's okay. We won reasonably well. Managed to pick up a mortar ourselves. Oh. Hang on. Did we not have a mission in order for us to get our hands on a mortar in order to go for the next level, I believe, of the other Runefang Beast Slayer? Let me just double check when we get the opportunity. Of course we can occupy this.
Bring me to my men.
There we go. Enemy killed in battle. Axe bag pass is secure. Yeah, we managed. Oh, for Beast Slayer. So we managed to achieve that, and we've got more money in the treasury. So what's this? Whilst he prepares his forces, the Emperor dispatches a trusted lieutenant to scout the route and to keep him informed of developments. So Salzamund, we need to send a character all the way up to here. Now, the only character we have available to us at the moment is Luther Huss, which means he will have to leave the army. And he has been a very good, addition to the army at the moment. But this is a mission that I suppose we could need to do. And we're a bit far away at the moment, unless... Don't forget we've still got this mission to do at some point, which will give me access to a battle wizard. I think that'll be something for us to focus on and do shortly as well. But for the moment, let's go back into this. Do we want to try... Let's get another unit for archers to help out a bit. And I'll leave it at that for now. I like the fact we managed to get our hand on a unit of mortars. That's pretty good. I forget that's a mechanic in the game, since I don't... when I've last played as Batonia, as Lizardmen, and now you don't often come across artillery pieces. So it's quite cool that that is an option. Right, now Helmgart itself is only a small fort, but it's going to be a couple of turns until we can upgrade it to a fort and continue working its way up into its impregnable. We'll have Hellstorm rocket batteries, Hellblaster volley guns, Rake's Guard, Cap Greatsword regiments. That's going to be great to go for. Now back to this though. Since we now finished upgrading Ordorf, we can spend some money now on upgrading the settlement again. Now, can't get any proper landmarks yet, because of course I would love to get my hands on the Conclave of Battle Wizards, or even Castle Wakeguard over here. So instead, let's have a quick look-see. Doing something like the Tap Room will give us nice public order, and we can eventually boost it up to there, which will also give us a bonus for Witch Hunters. Can we get the Chapel yet? Not yet. Can't get a Shrine of Sigmar for another tier. In that case, looking for the options here, I'm thinking let's go for Unit Stables, so we get access to Pistoliers. We'll go for that Tap Room for the public order bonus, because at the moment we're -6. And then Clay Pits will give me access to Pottery as a resource, which is going to be useful for trade. I mean, we could also go for a Blacksmith. Gives me access to Empire Knights. But don't we need this anyway? Hang on. Outriders, Empire... Yeah, you need a Blacksmith before we can get our hands on it anyway. And we can't get to the next tier. In that case, I'm just going to go for the trade resource. And go for a nice Clay Pit. It will take a couple of turns, but that's fine. Then final thing, let's go on to Luthor. At the moment, let's give you... You need a bit more melee defense. Let's go for 2 points in Impassioned. And then you... Public order is never going to be an issue here. So what I'm going to go for is just make sure we get extra growth. That way we can build up the fort much quicker as we have the money. Next then, Karl Franz. Let's see, we've now done that. Let's continue working now on a bit of his own personal skills. So really going for increased melee attack could be quite nice. Do we want the extra armor or extra health? Let's go extra armor so he doesn't get hit anyway. Nah, that doesn't really give that much of a bonus, does it? I mean, it is 7, I guess. Let's give you Deadly Blade, like I said. And there's nothing on that side. Let's go then... Yeah, let's go full plate armor. Why not? End the turn. Ooh. So just like that, we've managed to get Helmgart under control. Now, one thing I definitely need to do in the following turn is to check out the fealty of the other elected counts. The last thing we want is for us to have to go to war against one of them, if we can avoid it. Now, I know from watching both Surreal Beliefs videos with Balthasar Geld, as well as the one I talked about in the last episode, that there's a couple of things we need to bear in mind. Oh, and also mentioned by Drake Immaterium. For example, we always need to keep our prestige level to at least be 1,000. Now and then, if any events come up that allows us to increase our Imperial authority, I should say, we can actually do that. The other thing we want is that before we can consider confederating with any of the other elected counts, like, if I remember correctly, Talabecland was very loyal to me, a high level of fealty. It wouldn't surprise me if they're going to be among the first people we can offer to confederate with. Now, if we do that before we get to at least Imperial Authority 4, we'll go into the negative, and we'll start, taking penalties because of it. But if we choose to let them remain independent until they offer yet again, that will again increase our Imperial authority. So definitely something we want to keep an eye on throughout the campaign is the fealties levels of the other elected counts. Now, do we have another pop-up that's going to come up before we continue fine?
Your prestige grows.
Nope. Okay. So completed the Fractured Nation, where you can see about the election of a new emperor. So let me tick you off. Next one. So next one is Unite the Lands. Even the worst emperors in history, and shamefully, there have been many, could claim to have more than one province under their rule. To truly bring the empire back to greatness, the throne must exert its power to provinces further afield. And we're going to get 4,000 gold for that. Now that's exactly what we're going to do with us heading up towards Marienburg. So we'll do that eventually, but our first stop is going to be Einhart here. So let's grab Karl Franz. Can't quite make it there this turn, can we? Just slightly out of range. Okay. What we're doing then, because we can actually make that movement, I'm going to move them back to Uberswijk, so we can continue getting that bonus to our replenishment. But I'm going to get Luther Huss. Do I want actually Luther Huss to make his way up towards here? To be fair, he'll probably get there in just a few turns. So like, yeah, 1, 2, 3 turns? Yeah, that's easy enough to do. Yeah, we'll let that happen. Let's see, Grunberg will level you up. We've got plenty of money at the moment. I'm quite happy to allow that. And we finally got that 1,000 prestige. So, we've got... Do I want to get another unit while we're here? Or do I want to wait? I'll wait, because now we'd like to try and get another unit of swordsmen at the very least. And when we get access to spearmen with shields, I probably want to swap them out. In fact, what's better than now these? Melee defense now is the same, it's just the difference with the melee attack. Because see this little skill here, thanks to the closer to tabletop mod, gives us extra melee attack if you're fighting above a certain level of health compared to these guys. Something for us to think about. Anyway, so let's check out the fealty system for the other elected counts. Just see how we're doing over here. So Tyler Beckland is 9. Like I said, he's probably going to offer to confederate with us very soon. Edward van der Kwal is currently, of course, not part of the Empire. Once we actually take Marienburg, though, I don't know if we're going to allow Edward here to actually become the elector count, or I might designate my own character. I'm not too sure yet, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay, Visselen has gone down to 2. Why is that? It's just their base level fealty, okay. Solent is at 8. Yes. Who's the other worst one? What? Todbring has actually gone up to level 5. 6. Everyone else is pretty happy. Ostenmark could probably do a little bit of a boost. So I'll tell you what, I would use my electoral machinations. Let's go back to Visselen. Let's make sure to improve the relations between us and Nem for now. Then we've got one more turn into what technology we're doing again? TIF rebates, increasing growth and public order. Excellent. What I would like to do, if we haven't got much to spend next time, is to maybe go for the diplomatic corps, because there is one that will increase our diplomatic bonuses with both other human factions like the other elected counts and Kislev. I don't think it applies to Batonia. That has to be a separate one, because they are a very unique faction in their own right, rather than just being part of the Empire. Maybe it's the Border Princes. I'll double check it in the next turn, when we can actually pick the next one. But that would be a nice one, plus I remember it gives a bonus to public order. Now it's only +1, +2, but every little bit's gonna help, isn't it? Now, Heinrich, what do you want? You want me to pay you for a non-aggression pass? No. If he does come to attack me, then he's going to lose out massively against us, in my opinion. I would rather put my might in Sigmar and in our blades, or as the phrase goes, in faith, steel and gunpowder, than I would against the forces of undead. So, we'll wait and see. And don't forget, we've got the Prophet of Sigmar himself, Luther Huss, that will be able to join us in the fight, and his battle prayers will help us through. Now, I did notice, just as I was talking, that the Marienburg forces look like left Marienburg. We're going to have to keep an eye on that, because normally Marienburg, as I said, and as we did ourselves when I was playing as Leon Kerr in my Bretonnian playthrough, Marienburg tends to be your first target because of the amount of wealth you can get from the port. And so we need to keep an eye on that, because the last thing I want is to have the Leon Kerr move in and try and take it. Although, because I do have the region trading mod, if that comes to it, as long as we can get one region in the whole place, we can actually buy the rest of it from them. Here we go with the Confederation offer. So great strides have been made in your relationship with the state of Talabekland of late. The elected count, Helmut Feuerbach, has approached you with an offer of confederation. Landlocked by other imperial states, the home of the Talabeklanders is vast, with the resource-rich Great Forest being its most prominent area. However, its capital Talabheim is home to the Knights of the Blazing Sun, fearsome Templars of worship Mimidia, the classical goddess of war. Would you accept their offer of confederation? So if we did accept it, as you can see, it reduces my imperial authority by 3, which means we'll be down to -2 and in the red. Or We can insert their independence and for their thing, where they will offer it again in 20 turns, but it does give me +1 authority. So we're going to assert their independence for now, let them continue on their own devices, and then we'll eventually be able to bring them into the fold once that goes up by another 2 at the very least. Now Altdorf, you can level up. We're going to give you an extra level in Pottery Maker. We can actually build 2 levels here in Ubersweig. So what I'm going to do, can we build, do I want to go for a guardhouse? Well, given its location, I think we're pretty safe, just simply because we do have Helmgart next to it. Although there is going to be any issues if we have something from Skarsnik and the Crooked Moon coming down. But this will give me access of, to be honest, that unlocks technologies, don't get me wrong. But there's not really much it can do about making things better until we can get up to the top here. So we can get access to our hordes. You know what? We'll leave it for now. We're just going to go for our guardhouse. Increase the garrison here. But we will spend some money to upgrade the rally field. There we go. Perfect. Let me just check my diplomacy once more. Just want to see if there's anyone new we can trade with. Osland, for example. Let's have a look. You don't want to. That's fine. Marienburg, we're not going to ask about. Okay, Betonia. You really do like us now. Come on. Oh, so close. So close. In fact, let me take an opportunity. Marienburg, strength level 6. They're much stronger than we are. Right, that's something we're going to have to be careful about. Okay, let's go back to this. Emissary to the Prince of Altdorf. Okay, yeah. 7 Realms, Kislev Empire. Okay, no worries. Income settlement buildings. Let's go for state troop standards. As regiments gain renown, their standards become talismans that are just as important as their sword arms. I mean, +5 leadership and +5% speed. I'll take it. Between these research, these research technologies that we can do, and the bonuses that we're getting from Karl Franz, the baseline troops in his army are going to be so powerful on their own right, and that's before they start gaining experience. It's going to be great to put them into battle, and that's even before we can supplement them with great swords and so on. Although bear in mind, I do have the tabletop caps mod in place, which means that we're not going to be able to go over the top and get armies of great swords and stuff. I never liked it in the base game, and I'm really glad that mod was sorted out and had been updated in time for the latest version that was done with the Hunter and the Beast DLC. It just seems weird when I'm used to the tabletop, where it was you had to spend 25% of your points minimum on core units. You had to spend 50% of your points on... you can spend, I should say, up to 50% on special, and up to 25% on rare. You had to have at least one commander, you had lords and heroes and so on. So it's weird coming onto this when I remember my first time in Warhammer, playing as the vampire counts and just having an entire army of Graveguard and Black Knights with quite a few Terrorgeist. And it's just sort of like, no, it doesn't work like that in Warhammer. Don't do it. Anyway, Espith wants to have military access. I don't want her to have it. So, no. We might do at some point. Like I said, I'm not willing to go to war against any of these unless we have to. So, I don't mind trying to keep them sweet by letting them have access to, be able to march through my lands and that. Although I don't know why she wants it. Since there's no one nearby over here, as she's at war with. In fact, Visserland isn't at war with anyone. They're trading with us, and they are trading with another faction I saw. Although, damn, my agreement just went. I wonder why that might have been. Friends in high places. So this is what I mean by having 1,000 prestige in place. Because we can now engage in politicking. So you can read about it here, friends in high places, and give me an extra imperial authority. So we'll definitely go for that. Locking me down now, unfortunately, to 115. But we'll be able to continue building up over time. But with that, that was the end of today's episode. So thank you very much for watching, I hope you all enjoyed, and I do hope you join me next time for more Warhammer. But until then everyone, take care, and goodbye for now.